Okay folks, today we're going to do another home improvement project. The project will be in the kitchen, specifically the garbage disposal. Tell you what, let's put some light on this a little bit more. Alright, that'll help. Have any of you ever looked in your garbage disposal and saw what looked like jaws of shark chewed up on the rubber in there? Alright, well take a peek at that. You know, it's pretty well chewed up in there. So what we're going to do is replace that rubber gasket basically between the area right here on the sink and down here on your garbage disposal. So replacing this isn't terribly hard if you have a helper, okay? This video was not done with that intent in mind. So if you do have two people helping, this can be a pretty easy job to do. This is designed more for a single person job or a novice who's never really done it before, and we'll try to give you a few good tips to use. There is another video out on YouTube that covers how to do this, but I will tell you there were a few safety tips left out of the video. I'll cover those extra safety tips and something else, a helpful hint to make this truly a one-person job. So first, let's take a peek at the underside of our sink just to see what we have to work with. So here it goes. Alright, I don't know about you, but my guess is your sink probably looks like mine. And you can see right there in the center is the In-Sink-Erator garbage disposal, and we're going to need to clear a path from each side, front to rear, to make sure that we can get at that. So that's something that we're going to have to do early on. Alright, the other thing we're going to do once we get at the underside and the back of that garbage disposal is we're going to want to see where the wire, and there is going to be a wire coming off the disposal. Does it come off of the bottom or does it come off the side? In my old house it came off the side. This one comes off the bottom. So we're just going to need to know that up front, because that will drive a special tool that we have for you to help make this job a lot easier. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and cover some of the tools that we've got. So over here, alright, first of all, this is the item that we're going to go ahead and replace. Okay, that's basically what In-Sink-Erator calls a gasket. Now, be mindful of something here. This looks like there's an extra gasket in here. That's not the case. This gasket fits certain models, and this gasket fits other models. So what you're going to need to do is read the back, particularly right here, and it'll say which one goes to which. And to totally Murphy-proof this, they refer to this one as not having the rib. So it's just clean right here, but check it out. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but they also put the word right there, deluxe. So one they'll call deluxe and one they call standard. Alright, then we have various screwdrivers. We got a short, stubby, flat tip. We've got a longer, looks like a number 1, number 2 flat tip. We also have a number 1 short cross tip or Phillips. And then we have a longer number 2 Phillips. Then we have something that may not seem intuitive at first, but this will be very handy. A regular car scissor jack. And then also, here's our special tool. Now let me show you why I call this a special tool. The tool is just anything that helps make your job a little bit easier. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece of wood. It's just a scrap piece of wood, approximately 1/2 inch thick, piece of plywood. And it's going to be, the width of this is going to be at least as wide as the garbage disposal is. But you notice here I've also cut out a notch here in the wood. Alright, that was intentional because I told you that my garbage disposal has a wire coming out of the bottom, but thankfully it's right at the edge, so cutting out this notch right here at the edge will do the trick for us. Okay, so back to our video here. There's some basic safety issues that were kind of left out on another YouTube video that I saw out on the net. and I really want you to focus on those. Alright, first things first. Now, we tend to want to say that there's our garbage disposal switch. We will just intentionally not turn that thing on. But I have a good friend of mine, his name is Mr. Murphy, and he has his laws, and you got to prepare for him. So it's not just enough to not turn that switch on, because you could walk away, go to the bathroom, do whatever. Somebody can come in behind you thinking everything was okay, and then turn it on, and then bad things could happen. So we're not going to do that. But in addition, we also have this device here. Now, in case you're not sure what that is, that's a dishwasher. Now you say, well, wait a minute, what does that have to do with my garbage disposal? Well, if you've ever listened to your dishwasher operate, at certain times it will drain the water out of the dishwasher, and sometimes you can even hear it bubbling up in your garbage disposal. That's because we have a return line there that's attached to your garbage disposal, so we don't want your dishwasher coming on accidentally. So the next step we're going to do is go down to wherever you have your circuit breaker panel, and we want to go ahead and turn off the circuit breakers for both of these devices. So let's go do that. Okay folks, we're here at the circuit breaker panel. It's kind of hard to see, but basically what you're going to want to do is run up and down, you know, all of your breakers and look for the two, which I found them. Number 16 here for my dishwasher, and number 24 here for my disposal. They may be in different spots on yours, but make sure you get the right number. And then what you're going to do, like on my panel, right here along the side of the breakers are the numbers. So the first one we have is number 24. We're going to turn that off. And the second one we have, here we go, is number 16. So we're going to turn both those off. Now, we're not going to just take our word that this is correct. We're going to verify that both the power on the disposer and the dishwasher are in fact off. So let's go check that. Okay folks, we're back upstairs and we're going to try to turn our disposer on. Nothing happens. So it looks like the power is in fact off. Next, we're going to see if we can start or do anything, and we can see that we have no power to our dishwasher. So we're basically ready to go. Let's review everything we want to get done, and then we will get right to it. Okay folks, a little bit hard to see and the angle really is bad, but two things we want to do here. Alright, right here is the line going to the washing machine. You don't normally necessarily have to take that off. I apologize for the focus, but it's a really bad angle and it's hard to get light back here. In my case, I'm going to take that off mainly because the amount of play on the line is not enough, so this will just help it, you know, in terms of getting the garbage disposal off. But the main reason we're here is to get off this, and right here at the top is a nut, a single nut that allows us to take the waste line off. Alright, the other video on YouTube, the lady had all of these lines up front, which is probably not realistic. The realistic scenario is exactly what we've got here, which is there's our sink, our garbage disposal, and our lines here in the back. So we're going to free up those two here in just a second. I'll take the video off as I loosen up the nuts, and then once they're free I'll show you what I did. Okay folks, this is it. This is the screw that I was trying to get at on the back side of here, and now we can see that the metal piece that screw is holding on is now set aside and away, and we can also see the drain line is separated. So although this isn't far removed, I don't know if you can see that, but it'll swing away just enough when we're ready to take the disposal out. So the next step is we're going to get the disposal ready to come down off its mount, and this is where we're going to use our special tool. Stand by. Okay folks, you notice I did a little something here. I went ahead and took right here and put in my little special tool I created. It's just really about a 1/2 inch piece of plywood. And notice, see underneath? Okay, that's where the electrical line is coming out, and I've got a little cutout there to allow this board to basically be situated underneath of the garbage disposal, held up with the jack, which we can raise or lower just with our fingers, and we're basically ready to go. This is right now remains a one-person operation. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is get up in here, and we have this little ring right here, and we're going to loosen it by putting in our number 2 Phillips right in here, and we're going to go ahead and twist it to the left. So here it goes. Alright folks, we've got our number 2 Phillips. It's a pretty long one. It doesn't necessarily have to be super long, but if you're having a tough time getting it out, a little bit of leverage helps. And all we're going to do is go ahead and turn this slowly to the left. Now at this point we may be fighting resistance in our little special tool here, so let's go ahead and let it down a little bit. There we go. And then loosen it some more. Alright, we're going to keep on turning our ring until we get it all the way loose. There we go. And now it's fully loose. But notice our garbage disposal didn't go anywhere because we have it sitting right here. Alright, and we're going to slowly loosen it up. Alright, now we may have to, in our case, we got these little I guess you could call them mounting screws for the top that we may have to work around. So we might want to slowly jimmy this thing down. Alright, taking care to go. Now hopefully yours won't be this challenging at home, and you won't have to, there we go, clear so many obstacles, but look at how easy it is. Okay, I'm just turning on the jack to lower it down, and there's no struggle at all. Alright, because I don't have to hold the whole weight of this thing up while I'm trying to, you know, mess around with this up here, alright, and try to turn it to get it off. So at this point, if I wanted to, I could take and just put the seal on right from here, but I don't want to do that. I want to the extent that we can, I'm going to go ahead and pull it off so you can see exactly what we're doing in terms of putting the seal on. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pause the recorder for a sec. Okay folks, so now you can see the entire garbage disposal. You can see the seal up on top. Alright, so at this point, I mean, hopefully it's not on too terribly difficult. We should be able to pry it off just with our hands. There we go. We just work our way around the edges, and there we go. Just lift it off. There we are. Now, pretty disgusting, I got to tell you, but more importantly, look at the opening of the seal. Okay, that's how it looked before I removed it, which actually there's some that are even worse including the lady on YouTube that did a very similar video. Here's what we're going to put in. Alright, this is a brand new one. Now, I will tell you that the pack came with 2 of these seals. One has a little rib right here on each of the 4 cutouts. Okay, this particular model on the back side of the package that it comes in tells you that the ones without the rib go, in this case, to the model that I have, the 555 SS. So let's go ahead and see if we can seat this. Before we do, let's take a quick break, clean this mess up, and then we're going to clean up the top of the where the seal is going to mount in here to make it easier for the seal to go on. Okay folks, let's go ahead and get our new seal slowly seated. Alright, we'll just work it on around the edges, slowly go around until it's, you know, the real trick on doing these is work your way around. Okay, slowly work your way around until you can tell it's fully seated, just like that. Alright, so how do we know it is fully seated? Well, when we get it on, it should be uniformly flush, but more importantly, you'll kind of get an indication when this ring gets a little bit of friction. Alright, that's telling you that it's all the way down, seated to where it needs to be in order to give us what we're looking for. Okay? So, nothing further, we're ready to reassemble. So, what I'm going to do at this point, now again, I want to stress, I did not need to take this garbage disposal off of the jack and the special tool that I made. The main reason that I did it was so that you can see the work that I'm doing, but what I would normally do is leave it sitting on that jack, but turn it down so you can access the top, pull the old seal off, put the new seal back on, and then twist it back up so it's mating up right to the surface. But I did want you to see this technique, and it works very well. Alright, we'll pause it for a second and go ahead and get the jack back in place. Okay, so we got our jack back in, our special tool on, taking care to check in the back, make sure that the electrical line is coming through that cutout so we don't pinch it. We're pretty close to where we want to be. Now what we're going to do, alright, is we're going to push that seal up and make sure that we're about as even as we need to be all the way around so it's not offset to one side. So we'll go ahead and bring it up, and as we get close, alright, here we go, we'll just feed it up in there and let this thing do all the work. Now, before you get too far along, make sure, alright, these little tangs, that's what they're called, that, you know, look and see the edge that they run up on. Your starting point is going to be at the far left side of that channel that they're going to run up on. So what I'm looking at right now, if we look over here on this side, alright, you'll see that the channel starts right here, and I've got this thing setting just to the left of the starting point of the channel. So let's go ahead and see if we can get this seated in here. Oops. Alright, before we go any further, alright, it looks like we've got 2 of them started. Let's check and feel. Yep, there we go. On the back side, that all 3 tangs are engaged. you don't want to try to tighten this thing up and discover that one of the three, because there's three of these, one of these three is not sitting and riding up on the channel. That would be bad. So at this point, it's relatively easy and painless. We're going to bring it all the way. There we go. And we're all the way at the top. It's fully seated. So what's left? Well, this is the relatively easy part. We need to well, for this installation, because everything's in the back, it's a little bit harder. But yours may be on the sides, which would be very convenient. Mine's in the back. We're going to reattach the drain pipe, and we're also going to reattach the fitting that comes from the dishwasher. So here it goes. Okay, folks, looks like we got our garbage disposal back online. We take note that this one tang here is pretty much at the very top of the these leads that they run on them. Alright, so we got it as far over as we can go. So this is fully tied up against here. On the back, well, it's kind of hard to see, but we'll try to point it to you. We got the waste fitting on, and up top we have the clamp attached for the dishwasher line, which comes all the way from here. Our dishwasher's over here on the side, but our line comes from here and a water supply is down here. Alright, so you figure, hey, good news, I'm all done, everything is good to go. No. One of the most important things that we have yet to do is to do a function check. Alright, very, very important. So in order to do a proper function check, what we're going to need to do is restore power to both our garbage disposal and to our dishwasher. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll take a minute and turn the breakers back on. Okay, folks, here's what we're going to do now. We're going to do several function checks to make sure that we did this job right. The first and easiest one is what we're going to do is go up top to our sink. Alright. We're going to go ahead and put a stopper here. Alright. And we're going to fill our sink up as high as we can get it. Now, the reason that we're doing this is we're creating something that we call in the hydraulics business the pressure head. So if we can get, let's say, the level going right here to the base of the stainless steel, which is going to take a few minutes, and I'm not going to show you filling it up, but I'll bring the camera back in once it's full. What we're going to do next is pull the stopper and then see if we have any leaks. That way we know that with a certain amount of pressure, alright, from the water up here, that the seal is good and it's not leaking down below. So let's pause it for... Okay, folks, you notice we got a full tank of water here in our sink. I'm going to ask my assistant to pull the plug because I don't want to get my hands wet, because I'm going to need dry hands to feel if there's any leak down below. But if it's you doing it, the water's not going to drain out super quick. So have some paper towels ready to go. Pull the stopper, and then let's check below and see if we've got any leakage coming from anywhere. But likely it's going to be in one of two places. Either it's going to be around here at the mating ring, or in the back where the waste valve connects in. So let's go ahead and pull the plug and see what happens. Alright, looks like we got us a little bit of a leak. So now we're going to need to troubleshoot it. Okay folks, we did a little bit of troubleshooting, and what we were able to discover is that when we had our sink full, and by the way, I have to confess, truth in lending here, when we put the new seal back on, which would be fitted in this direction, the portion of this garbage disposal here that mates up to the inside surface right here, that inside surface of the seal, about 3/4 of the way the metal and the lip of the metal were fully intact, but about 1/3 of it, okay, it was corroded and worn down. Now it did allow me to put the seal back in place, and if I do normal operations with this garbage disposal, including having the dishwasher on, etc., it's going to be fine. However, if I stop up the sink, create a pressure head, it's going to, here's exactly what's going to happen. The water will go in, will fill up the entire cavity here, and then it will come up under and over the lip of the seal, alright, and it's going to leak. So I knew that when I put this on, that I may have to ultimately replace the garbage disposal, because this garbage disposal here is kind of old. It's very old, and I'm guessing it's like 15, 17 years old. But in any case, for right now, we're good to go, and I'm going to show you how I can. We'll go ahead and turn the water on, and we're going to turn the garbage disposal on, and you can hear it running right now. There's no water coming from anywhere, sides, back, etc. So it seals very good. Where we're going to run into problems, of course, is when we get to a situation where we take our sink and fill it up completely with water and then pull the stopper. That's going to create a problem. So the next video I'm going to do is we're going to take this nice, faithful garbage disposal and replace it with a brand new one. So that'll be the next video coming up. Thanks. Hope you enjoyed the video. Bye. Okay folks, one last part of our function check. Let's not forget to go ahead and turn on our dishwasher. We'll go ahead and pull the drawer out, and you know, we got everything ready to go. Our control panel's up on top. We'll go ahead and put it on start mode and go ahead and shut it and turn it back on. The thing we're looking for is here in our top line up here. We're looking to see if there's any leaks once it's gone through the first drain out cycle. There's a couple of cycles it has, but we're looking for the back here. And assuming that we don't have any leaks after the entire dishwasher is done, then we can feel pretty confident about putting everything back under our sink. Again, I hope you liked the video. Thanks. Bye.